Hello, happy Tuesday. Thanks Replay viewers for watching, and thank you YouTube viewers for watching. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central here on Facebook Live, where we relax, we craft, and we're here for about an hour every weeknight, and we work through a project from beginning to end every night here. So thanks for joining me. Tonight we are going to finish up my Make It 80% Good punch needle. So look at all that fun texture that we've been working on over the past few days here. So we are going to finish it up tonight. We're going to clean up this rough edge here of all the excess fabric and do a fun little way of how I like finishing an embroidery hoop. So this is how I've started to finish all my embroideries, and I thought it'd be a cute way to finish this piece too, where I can still see the back of the piece here. So that's the plan for tonight, and we'll also be testing out the needle punch, the punch needle some more. So I'm using the Ultra Punch. That's this little blue guy here, and it has different heights to it, so you can make different size loops. I found some yarn, I found some different threads, some crochet threads, and a few other fabrics, and I thought we'd give it a try. We'll just play with different materials and just experiment a little bit with the punch needle before we move on away from this project. I just wanted to get a few more tests out of the way and give it a go. So that's the plan for tonight. We'll just play around a little bit after we finish the back of the Make It 80% Good. So my Make It 80% Good, that is my saying that I have in my head when I need help starting a project or getting through the project. Sometimes I just want something perfect, you know, and then it's hard to even get going on it because I'm risking failure, you know, right away by going for that perfection. So if I can just say to myself, just make it 80% good, that's sometimes just enough for me to get over the hump of starting. And it's also sometimes the thing that helps me finish up a project. Like if I just can't get it done, I can just say, oh, just make it 80%. And that'll help me finish it. Now, that's not to say that I'm not going for like 150% while I'm working on it, but if I'm thinking I'm going in at 150%, then that's too scary. So sometimes I need to trick myself into getting started, and that's the Make It 80% Good. My little saying for the punch needle here tonight. Helps get things done, helps get things started, at least for me. So that's my little saying. I want this piece up by me where I work, so it's just a reminder for me to just keep pushing through, just make it 80% good, and that'll help me with that. So that's, if you're wondering what the Make It 80% Good is, that's kind of my deal there. So I'm going to flip you guys around, and we'll get started finishing the back here tonight. I don't think it'll take very long. You can use this technique to finish any embroidery you're working on it on. I think it makes it really cute, and it also makes the back visible yet, so you can see the backs of the stitches, which I think is kind of fun as well. So all right, I'm going to flip you around. We'll get started tonight. Thanks again, guys, for joining me. All right, Make It 80% Good. Here is my the giant pile of floss that we've been using. But here we go, scooching down here tonight. Okay, let me just stop it from wiggling a sec here. All right, so Make It 80% Good. The first thing I'm going to do, well, what I want to do ultimately is on the back, I want this to be a circle, and what it's going to do is we're going to have this cute little circular edge going around. So it's going to be cleaned up, but we'll still have the back visible. So this is how I do that. I'm going to lay my piece down on the ground, and I am going to cut a circle about maybe a ½ inch or so away from this edge. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because it is going to be on the back, but I'm just going to cut away some of this excess So we're just going to go around. You can draw a circle if you want. This is easy enough. So we're just going to go all the way around about the 1/2 of an inch. I hope all you guys are having a great first day of spring. It snowed all day here today, so first day of spring was kind of a bust. But, well, that happens. Oops, I just snipped a little bit of that, a lot bit. Look, oh no, I snipped a little bit of the leather, the leather off. Oh, well. I thought it felt a little funny there. So this leather on the back of this is part of these auburn hoops. That's this fancy hoop that I'm using here. It is by the company auburnhoops.co, so .co. And their hoops are just so pretty and lovely, and I wanted to use it as a frame for this piece. So I stitched it within the hoop, and I'm just leaving it there to frame it. But it has this little leather kind of tassel on it, and you pull on that to get the ring, the inner ring out of the back. I can show you that in a sec, but I just snipped it a little bit. So, oh well. I think it's still long enough that I can pull the inner hoop out. But there we go. So here's my excess. I don't need any of that. Look at the poor little leather piece. So here we go. Look, here's where I snipped it. Oh no. But yeah, so you to get this inner hoop out, you yank on the leather here, and it's kind of plastic, so it'll pop out. It's holding this in really, really tight, so I don't want to pop it out now because I have my piece nice and centered. I'm just going to let this dangle here, and it's just going to be, a little decoration on the back. But this is a new design of hoop. Typically you have your embroidery hoop like this. You have your closure on the top here, and then you have your inner hoop and your outer hoop. So this is basically the same thing, but the inner hoop is this tube here. I can show you with this other auburn hoop that I have. It's this tube, and then when you pull, ooh, I can't get it out right now, but like it's in a little, it's in kind of a path here, kind of like a ditch, and that's what's holding it in. So you have to really yank on the tube on this leather to get the tube out here. And it's a little tough, but it really holds the fabric taut. Like I didn't have to pull on this fabric at all, and it's still like drum tight. You can still kind of hear it. So that's why it works well for the needle punch, because you want a nice taut hoop. So that's the deal with this, and I just snipped into it. I can't take the leather off because it is so tight in here. The hoop is so tight in here that I don't think I'd be able to shimmy this off. I mean, I suppose I could give it a go, but it's pretty tight in there. And I kind of want to leave it there because eventually, someday I may want to take this out of the hoop or use it for something else, and then I'll still, I need the leather to pull the hoop out. Otherwise, it's kind of permanent in there, I think. But all right, so you can see I have basically a little circle going around the piece here. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to, with an embroidery needle and a piece of embroidery floss that's as big as this loop, I'm going to stitch in and out along the entire edge, and I'll cinch it right up. So and I'll tie it in the little bow. So ultimately, it'll kind of all be kind of grouped together like this on the back. So first of all, I want to pick a little thread. I could do this light blue because that's just similar to what we had, but I don't know. I kind of want to, this pink is kind of yelling at me a little bit. I don't know, the pink and blue maybe, or maybe that's just too much. Maybe I want to do the green or something. This light green is kind of nice. Why don't we do this light green since it all kind of looks like a scrap already. So, all right. Ooh, this is long. Okay. So all I need is a piece that can go around, you know, like the diameter or the circumference of this once. So, and a little extra to tie a bow. So I'm going to go about that far. We'll just snip a little extra off here. We'll snip like maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 more inches or so, just to make sure we have enough. And this is going to be more than plenty, but that's okay. Oh, why don't I initial my art? You always initial and date yours, Gretchen. You know what? I should do that. You're absolutely right. Sometimes I don't even take a photo of it. I just don't always think of that. But yeah, you know what? It would be fun. Maybe on the back, I'll just put a date on it or something. Luckily, I have video of all these up on YouTube, so I can just go to YouTube and if I need to find out. But one thing that my mom did that I think is a really great idea, and I think this is a great idea if you guys wanted to keep track of all the things that you're making. She's on Pinterest, and she started a private Pinterest board, so only she can see it, or only the people that she shares it with can see it. And she started taking pictures of everything around the house that she has made. And now whenever she makes something new, she'll take a picture of it right away, and she'll post it in her private Pinterest page. And then she has a whole record of all the things she made, and it's kind of awesome. And I feel like that might be something I need to start doing, because it just goes into the ether, right? And then I don't know when anything was made anymore. But yeah, that's something I'm not great at, Gretchen. I'm not good at like the finishing of things, like where I am labeling it. It's always the thing that I forget about. So I think you're right. I got to start getting into that more. All right, here's my little pin guy. From Fish Museum and Circus. He is holding my embroidery needle here, so I need that. Okay, so threading my needle. I use the pinch method of threading. So I put the thread in my fingers like this, where I can pinch, and then you can't see it anymore. But then if I slowly unpinch, there, you can see the little edge pop out. And right when I see that edge, I'm going to place the eye of my needle over the top of the edge, and I'm going to keep unpinching until I can grab that floss and pull it through. So we're just going to go like that. I know I should get it label everything for the future, just so it's all labeled, and if I want to hand it down, you're absolutely correct, Gretchen. I just am not in the habit of doing it. I need to, though. I think you're totally right. All right, I'm going to start at the top, and I'd say this is about the top here. And let's see, let's start at the top. I'm going to start on the, like if I fold it down, I'm going to start on the outside area here. So I'm just going to go back and forth in a running stitch. I'm about half inch or so away from the edge. It doesn't matter so much, but you do want to be closer to the edge than you are to the inner hoop here. You want to be closer to the edge of the fabric, the raw edge of the fabric. All right, so I'm just going in and out a few times like a running stitch, and then I'm pulling it through, but I'm going to leave like a good, I don't know, 6 inches or so here. I think maybe on the back, maybe I'll put a little label, or I think I'll just, I don't know, maybe I'll just write it on. I'm not quite sure what I want to do for a label here yet. But all right, so I'm just going to keep going around in a running stitch like that. So in and out, until your needle's basically filled with stitches, or if you feel like you have to turn and you can't anymore, and then pull them through. There. And they don't have to be perfect. I just like getting it done. So they're not all the same size. You know, after you do a bunch of stitches, sometimes they naturally become the same size because you're making the same hand motion and everything. And it's okay if it bunches up a little, that's okay. we're just going to keep on going around. There we are. So I'm using 6 strands of an embroidery floss here, and that's just because that's kind of what I've been using for the rest of the piece. It doesn't matter so much. Like if you're using 3 strands of embroidery floss and have a lot of spare 3-strand embroidery floss laying around, then do it with that. That's fine. I've not talked to the sewing machine guy yet. I'm waiting for a call for when the machine is done. So tomorrow I'll probably give him a call if I haven't heard from him. But it sounded like he got the idea that he gave me a faulty belt to begin with. So I'm hoping he's just, I think he marked it on the receipt or whatever that, or the order that he put in. I think he marked that it was on them, which is good because they just kind of put in a belt that they had laying around and it had some cracks in that we saw when we cleaned it last. So that's why it's in the shop, so I can get a new belt. And they switched it right away last time because they had that one on hand, but you know, now they're like, yeah, let's place an order for a fresh one. So yeah, that's the only explanation, because a belt wouldn't break in like a month. I mean, the belt that was in there beforehand that did actually break, that actually was chipping apart, that was from the 70s. So if it worked from like 74 till today on the same belt, I'm thinking that that damage did not happen in like a month. So yeah, I think they're on board with just giving me the belt, which is nice. Exactly, Gretchen. But yeah, so it was going to take about a week, which was about a week ago. I'm expecting them to kind of call, but you know, it's one of those places that you got to be proactive. So I'll give them a call tomorrow and just check in. But yeah, then we'll be back to sewing the Charming Chevrons quilt. Excited for that too. I'm loving how that's turning out. Yeah, now the machine will be nice and happy and ready to go for when we start free motion quilting. That's why I really wanted to make sure that I brought it in, because I wanted it clean and tip-top shape and everything in working order before we started all the free motion quilting, which will come up at some point here. Oh, you love your Charming Chevrons quilt, Gretchen. That's awesome. I love it so much too. I kind of want to make another one like immediately with scraps and stuff that I have around, just because it is so easy, but it's so satisfying too. And yeah, I think it'd be a great scrap buster. And different sizes too. Oop, I lost my needle there. You could do it in all sorts of sizes. Just moving my little fish museum and circus feller. He kept wanting to tip him over. All right, I'm going to snip this because it was all different lengths, and now we're going to thread it again. Oh, I don't think he sharpens scissors, my sewing machine guy. He's like a small motor place. But I do think that my local Ace Hardware, you know, it's a franchise. I think, like a family-owned sort of thing, though. I think he might sharpen knives, or someone mentioned that before. So I might have to go, or sharpen scissors, so I might have to go there and see if he sharpens scissors, because, yeah, I'm not, that I could use a good source for that, for sure, Gretchen. All right, we are almost all the way around. about 6 more inches to go. I could have probably made my thread a little longer. I'll trim it down quite a bit, but while I'm working on it, sometimes it's nicer when it's a little longer. I could have let it stay on the whole big loop and let that loop dangle here, or the rest of that bundle of floss. But I trimmed it already, that's okay. Almost there. And I want to end on the same side that I started, so kind of this outward side here, not on the inside. I want to be on the outside here. I wonder if needles go bad. I'm not sure. I mean, I think if you use a needle a lot, I mean, it's going to wear for sure because it's, you know, it's just metal. I think we'll go up like that. So, all right, I'm coming out, done with that needle. I'm coming out right sort of where I ended there. So now here's kind of the fun part. So I have all these little stitches here, and you can see it start to bunch. But here I'm going to get you guys a little bit higher here, because it's kind of neat to see the whole thing. Hold on a sec. There we go. So now just take those strings. So you know, this one I put in this hand. The right one I'm going into the left hand, and the left one I'm going into the right hand, so they cross. And I am just going to pull on either side, and the whole thing bunches up, and I think it is just adorable. So I'm just going to kind of shimmy them around a little bit, so they're doing a little bit more equally there. And there, you can just pull it tight. It's so sweet. It's like a giant yo-yo. And then I'm going to just tie this into a knot here. There we go. And then I'm going to tie it in a bow. You could actually tie it in another knot if you want it a little more solid, but I think we're good like that. Or work on these loops a little bit. It's a little twisted, but it's fine. Okay, and snip little thread here. And there we go. So that is how I finish my hoops. See, it's just a little, you can do this with embroidery as well. You can shimmy them around a little bit if you want. But then you have this cute little bow. Mine's a little twisted. I could have kind of dangled it so it untwisted a little bit. But there you go. So then on the front, you know, all of that excess is gone. And I love just like flipping it around, and it's so cute. So you can actually put, if you want to cover up the background, or if you want to put a label on the background, you could actually, before putting it in the hoop, so let's say I took this out of the hoop, and I could have, when I took this out of the hoop, I could have put another piece of fabric behind it. So I had 2 layers of fabric then instead, and I could have stitched something on that second layer of fabric, like I could have stitched the date and my name there, or the date of the project, and then put both pieces of fabric in here, and then done this, and then you would have had the background completely covered up. And then I could have had my label there by putting the 2 pieces instead of just the one like this. But I kind of like seeing the back. I think it's kind of a reminder of how it was actually done, and I can see the work. I can like assess where I need work and where to get better. And I like seeing all parts of the process. So that's why I kind of like leaving the back open like that. With this hoop, so normally when I do this process, I have the closure here, and usually I'll tie like a ribbon around there and hang it from there. I don't have that with these auburn hoops. What I think I might do is just kind of hang it from the ledge here like that. So, and maybe put like one of those dots, those dots that you put on the bottom of picture frames so they don't move. I might just put a dot there and then put a nail in the wall and hang it, or like a little hook and kind of hang it on there. You could actually stick one of those 3M, what are those? Those 3M guys that have the little hooks and stuff. I could probably hook one of those onto here too, something like that. But yeah, so right now I'm just gonna let it sit against the wall and not hang it on anything probably. And then if I want later, maybe like I said, I'll put the little rubber on the bottom and then just put a nail in the wall and hang it from there. So that is that finished project, something to check off the list for sure. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me for this whole project. This was my experiment in punch needle. I do want to play around with it a little bit more tonight. Oh, Gretchen, that's a good idea. One of those teeth bars nailed in. I could glue one of those on here if I wanted. Presumably, I probably won't ever take this out and use this again. I'd probably buy another one of these pretty embroidery hoops before taking this out. So I could glue one of those saw teeth things on here. That's probably a really good idea. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it like that. So all right, I'm gonna shoosh this out of the way, and I thought we could experiment with some other materials and the punch needle a little bit tonight, just a little bit. So I pulled a few things here. So I have some yarn. I think we'll use this. So I got some linen out. I think linen would work really well. I think this is cotton canvas and linen. So both of those are supposedly supposed to work well for this. But I also found, I think these might be upholstery fabric samples that I thought were kind of neat. So they're all hooked together yet. I'm going to snip those apart, and I think I'll try with one of these guys just to give it a go. There we go. I don't know where these came from, but you know, it's crazy what you find in your stash, you know, when you're looking for something specific. So, all right, this time I'm also going to try a normal embroidery hoop. So I've heard that normal embroidery hoops are a little difficult sometimes with punch needle because it doesn't hold things as taut as like the auburn hoops or a stretch bar that you might use for punch needle. But we did wrap this with some fabric, and that makes it a little sturdier, a little more grippy. So I'm gonna see how it works like that. Yeah, I think this is kind of. I'm hoping this is some sort of linen. It's like an upholstery fabric, but look how pretty it is. It's got a little texture in there, and it does kind of look linen-y. I don't know actually what the content is of it. For punch needle, supposedly you do not want to use quilting weight cotton, 100% cotton, or cotton muslin because it can cut through the threads. So I don't know if we'll have that problem here. So all right, I'm stretching it across a little bit till, if you can hear that, it's kind of like a drum. I think I can stretch it a little bit more. So we should be good as long as this holds and doesn't slip too much, so we don't have to keep constantly readjusting, then this should be just fine for punch needle, I would think. So stretch it a little bit more here. I do definitely think that the fabric here is helping us though, helping grip things. So I thought we could try a few things. I have some yarn here. This is pretty big, but I thought maybe it would fit with our larger needle, so I thought we'd give that a try. And let's see, I also have some little crochet cotton thread. I thought we could give that a try. And I have a little bit of a yarn bin. You know I like my bins for storing craft stuff. So this is a pile of random yarns. I think they're all a little too big, but I did have some of this mohair in here, little strands of mohair from an older project. I think I have a little bit more somewhere maybe. Oh, here, we got some pink too. So a little bit of mohair. I thought we could give that a try. I don't think I have. Oh, here we go. We have some other little thin bits here. So, ooh, look at that. So we'll give some yarn a try too. It's pretty fuzzy, but I thought, you know, we're experimenting. Let's give it a go. Okay, Gina says a lot of primitive designers use pearl cotton. Oh, that I think would be really beautiful. So pearl cotton embroidery floss would be lovely. This is a little bit like that. It doesn't have like the pretty glossy shininess to it, but thickness-wise, I think it's about the same. So why don't we give it a go? Let's make a shape that we want to fill in. So why don't we, let's draw something quick. All right, guys, what should I draw? Like a little heart or, I don't know, bunny or something else. Let me know, and I'll draw that on while, I'll try this thread first, and I'm going to try it with my medium needle here yet. So you guys shout out something that you want me to draw, and I will prep for it here. Ooh, a snowman. Ooh, a clover. That's cute. Ooh, a bunny. Okay, I'm just going to put this on the 4th setting for now. Ooh, 2 bunnies. I think bunny would be kind of cute in the white. A little white bunny. That would work. Let's do that. Little white bunny. Okay, so just threading that. A little white bunny, and he'll have a little bit of some random color stuff in it too. So hopefully, so this is a little, I think, thicker than the 6-strand embroidery floss. Ooh, a llama, that'd be fun. Llama. Ooh, maybe I'll do a llama. Let's see, I don't know if I can draw. I think a bunny will be better because it's like rounder, more compact than a llama. So let's do a bunny first. Let's do bunny and see what we get. All right, remember I gotta thread it through that tube and then also the eye of the needle. So I'm hoping this works. Again, I'm hoping first of all that this thread is a decent size for the needle. Otherwise, I gotta switch to the bigger needle. But it seems like it passes through relatively well. There's maybe a little tension, so maybe I'll need the bigger one, but I'm not sure. So let's do a little bunny here. Okay, so we're gonna make it small just because we're using kind of small floss here. So this will be, here's his ears. Let's give him a little bit of a body, a little bit of a tail. Okay, it's going to be a little silhouette of a bunny because I don't know if we'll have room for outlining or anything. And we'll give him some eyes and a nose, but we'll see how we go. Maybe some cute little cheeks. We'll work on his face a little bit, but let's maybe, oh, and maybe we can put some pink in his ears or something, and maybe his tail can be blue or something. So let's just kind of do his body with this. We'll give it a try. And I do want to try some of the larger sizes yet, so I'm going to scooch you guys in again. So zooming you in a bit here. Okay. Shaking a little bit yet. All right, so let's just kind of go around the body here. See if this works. So let's go smaller though. Let's go on the 3. Ooh, I just thought of something that I want to try too. We'll try really big bits for the tail and to make a fuzzy tail. So hopefully this works. I don't see why it shouldn't. So I'm just kind of outlining him. So far fabric and thread seem to be okay. Let's peek quick. All the little weird loops. So silly. All right, I'm gonna quickly go around the rest of this guy and let's see if we can just fill him in real quick. We might not get him done tonight, but we're just playing around. But yeah, I think this yarn is working. All right, now I'm just gonna go back and forth on it a little bit. Let's see if I can pick up the pace here a little bit. Gotta make sure I have enough slack here. Oops, sorry guys, bumped ya. So I'm just going back and forth now. So far the embroidery hoop seems to be holding pretty decently. I have read that you want to kind of get an outline in first, just to have, I don't know, I suppose a nice edge to start with. But I don't know, really I don't see a real big reason for doing that. And a lot of people go around and around the middle, but I like this idea of just going back and forth because I think it has pretty much the same effect and it's just seems faster. I'm going to try and fill this whole guy in here as fast as I can, and then we'll take a look. All right, I'll fill his body in. Then I want to try something fun with the tail I have an idea for. This might look crazy. You know, this is a pretty small design, and I don't know if needle or punch needle is really conducive for little designs like this, but we're experimenting tonight, right? So this will help, this little experiment will help determine, you know, improvements for next time, right? All right, if you have small details like eyes, oh, you should do those first. Oh yeah, so maybe I should, I don't know what I want to do with the eyes. I swear, I have some black embroidery floss, or we could use some of the pink. There's no, oh, I suppose there could be details in this body, like his little leg. So I'm pulling some of the loops out a little bit, it looks like, but I think we might have wanted to go up to the bigger needle for this. Maybe we'll go up to the bigger needle for the mohair. You just want to make sure that there's no resistance with the size of the needle and the yarn that you're using. And I'm thinking maybe there's a hair of resistance and I gotta pull more yarn off of here. Oh, little veggies. Oh yeah, for in the kitchen, little itty bitty veggies would be so cute. You're right. I did some vegetable embroideries for that craft text book, and those would be really cute as punch needle. All right, let's see what we got going on here. It might be crazy, but we're gonna see. A whole lot of fluff. It looks like we could fill it in a little bit more, but you know, it's kind of okay too. We'll just go around anywhere there's a blank space. We'll just do a few more punches. Maybe fill it in a little bit more. Like a really fuzzy mohair would have been really cute for this. Oh, you did a needlepoint of veggies. Cute, but do you think punch needle would be cuter? Yeah, this punch needle thing, it really is. It really is fun, and there's just something to that texture that makes things awfully cute. All right, so maybe I filled it in a little bit more here. Let's peek. I think that's good. We're gonna just stick with that for now. So let's trim this. So let's grab the needle, or scissors, I mean. All right. I want to try, let me trim this, but I would like to try the mohair really quickly here. So I want to try something with the tail. So I have this crazy mohair, and I kind of think it might be too small or too fat for this needle. So I'm also going to try using the larger needle here, which we haven't done yet. So let's attempt to take this apart and switch to a different needle size. So all right, with the Ultra Punch, this is when it's closed, when I don't have any of when the needle's not out. You know, if I have it at any of these settings, then the needle is up. So I want to put that all the way down, and then if I go around this little edge here, then it pops out. So there we go. There, I got the needle, and then there's also a spring in here. So I'm just going to leave that, and let's see if we can figure this out. All right, so there's a notch on both parts, and I'm guessing I just put those together. Yep, and there we go, easy peasy. So that's the medium. This is the large. Oh, look, I can match that up there too. All right, and just turn it to lock it. Okay, we are on the larger punch needle size now. Oh, geez, I gotta be able to get this little plastic thing off of it though. There we go. All right, we'll put it on the medium guy for now. All right, so I'm gonna take just one of these little fringes. They're in little pieces already. This is from an older, like really pretty Afghan that I made. All right, let's get it back into the punch needle. All right, I think I gotta go like this. Ooh, actually that's too small. Okay, so that's why it came with another spring. I didn't realize it's because it doesn't fit in that one, but that is the case. So let's get that other spring out here. Okay. And we got another threader here. All right. Now we should be in business here. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I want to try, let's make these super duper tall. So I'm going to put this all the way up to, oh, I can't even get it all the way up to 12. We'll put it on 10 or 11 there. So this is almost as far as it can be. I can't sneak it up there in that 12. So we're going to make it 11. I have no idea if this is going to work, but let's give it a try. All right, so I have a threader. I think my fabric here is big enough that it's going to be able to handle how big the straw is here, the needle. It's not going to make the fabric all weird. So this is so fuzzy, this mohair. I'm a little worried that it's going to cause too much resistance through this needle, all that fuzz, but let's hope that because I went to the larger needle size, maybe it'll work. Ooh, it's kind of tight in there too. I don't know. Might have to upgrade to the larger punch needle, one that I can use more than just this embroidery floss with. Like there's other punch needles that you can use yarn and all sorts of bulky threads, bulky yarns out of, and I think that would be really, really fun. Ooh, yeah, we're getting stuck in here. Ooh, there we go. I had to kind of rip the fuzzes a little bit. Rip all the fuzzles. This might be just a total disaster, this thread, but that's what we're doing. We're giving it a try. All right, so I'm pulling it back through the needle here. All right, I want to try and make a super poofy tail that we're going to trim to make a poofy too. So, all right, I'm going to give a little bit of an edge there, and I'm just going to go around this little tail here. Hopefully it works. It might just pop out on me, but that's what we're going to see. Oh yeah, I'm not sure this is working at all. Oh yeah, it's not moving at all in here. So it's just stuck. So this is too big for this needle. So I'm going to just take that out. Let's see. So no to that mohair, but we do have a little bit thinner mohair. This is just as fuzzy though, so maybe that's just not going to work. So, all right, I'm saying no to mohair. It's just too fuzzy. But I would like to try, let's try this pink. Let's give him a pink tail. And you know what? I am still using this larger needle, so why don't we add some more threads just to see if that works, if I can put a little bit more in. So this is 3 strands that I just happen to have here, 3 strands of white. So let's amp our floss up to 9 strands and see if that can fit in the needle here, in the large needle. I'm just trying to kind of test the limits of what this size punch needle can do. Because again, this is my first time, this is my first project, the Make It 80% Good project, my first punch needle project, and I'm just kind of testing the limits here. Oh, that went through really easily, so I think we're going to have no problem with, oh, did I miss one? Oh, that's why. Only the pink went through all the way. Dang, I was hoping that mohair would work, but I need just a little bit bigger needle for that. And that doesn't come with this punch needle, so bummer. Almost had that mohair going. That would have been fun. But I could get one of the larger punch needles that can go through the larger fabric, and I could have done well, I keep hitting you guys, but I could have done the mohair, like several strands of mohair with one of those, and that would have been pretty neat. Whole lot of fuzziness happening. All right, so this seems to be going through. Again, I'm using 9 strands now, which is more than what I did before. All right, this might still act weird because I am on a really high setting. And that might have actually been a little bit of the problem before, is that my setting was on really high. Oh, seems to be working though. Great. So I'm just going to go back and forth in this little tail area. Oh, this is working just fine. So 9 strands on with this big needle is working. Ooh. It's a little more difficult with such a high setting. All right, I think I'm going to just come around, and this will be the tail, one more in there. All right, let's peek. Oh my God. Look how big those loops are. That is crazy town. All right. That is so silly. Look at that tail. All right, I'm going to trim this. What I was thinking of doing is now one thing that I could do. I actually think it's really cute like that, but let's just go ahead and do this just because this is what I was thinking. I'm going to go in each of those loops and snip them apart. or as each of those loops as best I can. Oh, this is cute too. So look, we're making a little fuzzy tail now. And then we can kind of shape it a little bit like a puffball. All right. It's so cute and fluffy. So let's just shape it a hair. Kind of like how you would if you made a puffball. You'd want to shape that just a bit. It's so cute. Okay, now I want to do a ton more punch needles. Pom-pom tail. All right, it just blew it away, but look, little fuzzles, so cute. So that is with, I did just the longer needle. So this is where I have it set onto 11. In the other piece, we were only on 4, and the other bits were on 8, where it was just a little fluffier. But there we go. So that's with snipping the loops, making really long loops and snipping them. So that is pretty fun. That turned out a lot cuter than I thought. That was just so silly. Get rid of a little bit of excess there. You know what? I think I'm going to use that same combo. Oh, I took it apart already, but I'm going to use that same combo. We're going to go in the middle of the ears here quickly on, we'll go on 3 again. And then I want to we'll just quickly fill in the rest of this little guy. Let's see if I can finish him in the next few minutes here. I'll use the 2 colors again and the large. I think this like terracotta colored fabric is really pretty though. I could take this bunny out and make a different project out of it maybe. We'll see. Because it is just pretty. All right. Got those two colors together again. Again, we're using 9 strands of floss here, which is more than what we're doing with just the medium-sized needle. All right, we're going to just kind of fill in the ears a little bit. And then we'll go back to just that white color and do the rest. So now I think I can just jump to the next spot. So I'm going to just go over here. Ooh, I think, you know, I don't want to, oh yeah, see now I'm pulling the loop out. So there must be a different way to do that. So I want to put I've seen it done where I can just come out like this, and maybe I'm just holding that loop on the other side. There we go. And now I'm pulling out the thread a little bit. I'm holding that loop so it doesn't come out. And then we're just going to jump to this other edge here. There we go. And do the rest of these loops. And then I'll snip that apart. Come back down the other way. Did you guys hear that buzzer? My laundry's done. So silly. Oh my god. This makes me laugh every single time I do anything with this. Let's see. Before I do this, I almost want to jump and do part of this face a little bit. Let me just hold that loop again. See if we can pull a little bit more out here. And I don't know, 2 little bits for the nose maybe. Maybe it doesn't have a mouth because it's just so little, but we could give it a little nose. I need to pull a little bit more floss out of here. There we go. We'll do like 2 little stitches for the nose. Or maybe one stitch. I think maybe the 1 stitch was better. of those loops out. All right, let's give that a go. Enough of those colors. So now I'm just gonna snip a little bit. Let's snip in the middle of these so they're not in our way. There we go. See how that goes. But there we are, and let's see. I'm gonna just fill it in, and then we'll put 2 little eyes on when we're done. It's just gonna be like this white blob, since I don't really have a plan, but it's kind of fun still. I'm gonna switch back to the medium-sized needle. Oh, maybe the big needle will work. Let's just stay with the big needle and see how that does with this floss. We'll go for a couple more minutes here. A few more minutes tonight. Make this silly bunny. All right, I'm going to take more of that cotton. This is that crochet thread. Get the threader. Oh, my threader is getting all bent already. Suppose it doesn't matter. It came with 2 threaders, so I'm thinking if you damage one threader, then you'll be good with the second one. I'm sure you can probably order these from somewhere too. All right, good to go. Man, I'm stuck in the threader though. There we go. All right, let's try and speed through this and see if we get something that looks like a bunny when we're done. All right, I'm gonna go around these ears. I think I'm gonna move the piece this time instead of move my needle. It's just a little easier to move the piece. Get that thread out of my way. All right, I'm going to come back up the other way, fill in that bunny ear a little bit more. Just putting a pile of stitches in, filling it in. It's not as pretty on the back as what I was doing with the other piece, but all I'm trying to do is get some density of stitches in there. Looks pretty crazy. So I think the needle punch does, or the punch needle does look better when there's a density of stitches. So stitches pushing up against other stitches. So this is why some people, they stitch all around too, like they'll stitch the background because that will hold in all these weird loose stitches a little bit. You can't get your, oh, they keep coming back out. Jessica, 2 things come to mind. So first of all, this is only my, I haven't done this too much yet, so I don't know all the reasons that it might be happening, but the first thing I can think of is that maybe you're not threading the needle too, so you have to actually thread through the tube, but then it has that hole in the point. You also have to go through that point. The hole in the point, the eye of the needle. So, oops, keep hitting you guys. So that's the first thing I would check because that's what happened to me earlier. The second thing is if there's any tension back here, it's gonna pull out whatever stitch you're working on. So you need to make sure that, first of all, that your stitches can go through the needle easily. And if they can, then that you're not caught up on anything. Oh, you did the hollow part and the eye. I would make sure that you're not accidentally putting any pressure, like your hand or your arm isn't on your thread here. I would try that. Just make sure of that. And then I am not pulling the needle out very far. I'm only pulling it out till I can see the eye. See, like that? And then I'm dragging it over to my next stitch. I'm not lifting it out and going far with that, because if I pull that out any farther, it's going to pull the stitch out as well. Like if I pull this out even farther, oh, now it's coming out through here, but it could get caught, and there, now my stitches are starting to pull out. So I'm going to pull it back to the needle there. But yeah, you need everything kind of loose. You don't want to be putting pressure on anything. Otherwise, it'll be like, nope, I'm going to pull that thread out, that loop out. Lastly, you want to make sure that you're leading with the front edge or either side. So I'm leading with a side edge, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a sec here. We went over that a little bit in the other days, but the side that has this bevel, so that cut out of the needle there, that slice, that's the front. So you want to lead with a side edge. So you can see that, you can see the front here, and I'm going back and forth with the side. You can do that or with the front, but according to the instructions for this Ultra Punch, you want to lead with a side edge. So I'm rotating it as I go, so I'm always leading with one of those sides. If you lead with the back, then that can pull out stitches too. Jessica, I'd be happy to, if you can shoot like a little video with your phone or something and email it to me, I'd be happy to take a look at it and see if I can see anything that's popping out at me. But those are the only things I can think of right now offhand. And I'm no expert, but when I was experimenting, those were kind of the things that were messing me up for sure. I kind of like looking for those things and trying to work through them. So those are the couple things. Yeah, what kind of cloth are you using? Like if you're using a cloth that's too wide, it might not be able to hold your stitches either, because the only thing holding these stitches in is the cloth. Oop, like right now I'm getting too tight on my thread here. Ooh, you tried jean and cotton. So cotton might cut. Jean should work. I was using kind of a lightweight jean, not a heavyweight jean for the other thing. Yeah, Deborah says maybe the thread is too large for the needle. But yeah, I'd be happy to, or to just take a photo of like what you're using and stuff, and the needle and the thread, and or actually, you know what you could do too is take a photo of it or a little video and put it up in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. So I don't remember if you're a member or not, but just go to search for Penguin and Fish Crafters on Facebook and click join, and I'll let you in, and someone there from your photo might know. Ooh, now this looks funny. Oops, see, now I'm pulling them out. And I know a few people do that. Oh yeah, Gretchen says maybe it's that spring thing. I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of what I would suggest. Take a photo and post it in that group, and there's a few punch needle people in there, and they might be able to figure it out right away. It might just be something simple, who knows. All right, we're a little over tonight, but I just we started this weird bunny, so I kind of want to just keep going with it. We almost have this space filled. I don't think we're going to have it filled all that well, but... Oh, you know what? Now I'm pulling them all out because this is all tension here. So let's get some thread going here again. Some slack. I just pulled out like the last 6 stitches because it was too tensiony. I need more slack. Ooh. Yeah, I think I just took out some other stitches too. Oh well. Doing what I can here. Just want to fill this space and see what we got. We probably got some weird loopy blob, but that's okay. Experimenting with thread. You'll post a video. Oh, it's Penguin and Fish Crafters. So Penguin and then the ampersand fish. That's my company name. And then Crafters after. And it should just pop up when you search for that. And then just click join. And when I'm done here tonight, I will let you in. And then after you get a confirmation that you're in, then you can post images and stuff to it. All right, I'm just trying to fill in a few extra spaces here. Let's see what this thing looks like. Oh my god, it's so goofy. All right, let me snip this. Oh, I got a stray little loop in there. We'll snip that down as well. Yep, Penguin and Fish Crafters. Jenna wrote it there, Jessica. If you're using the Ultra Punch, it has a spring in it just to adjust the different sizes here. If you're using a different punch, it might not have a spring. So there's the spring. If you're using like an Amy Oxford, I think that's what they're called. If you're using one of those don't have springs. If there's a preset size, then those won't have springs. But mine has a spring. So. Oh, I kind of just want to finish this guy quick, so a little loop popped out here. I'm just going to trim that down so you can't see it. This guy is the wackiest thing ever. So I just want to add 2 little eyes quick. I know it's running late, but now I just want to finish him. So I have a little bit of black here. Actually, I have, it's everywhere. Oh, here we go. Let's add, I'm going to just add a little leg in it quick, and then we'll add 2 little eyes. See what we get. But that puffball tail is pretty dang cute. So put it on 3 again. Again, I maybe wanted to switch to the medium size needle, because we're still using that big one, but just because we've been running late, I think I'm just going to use this guy and see what we get. Little weird experiment. There we go. And I'll try and do that jumping around a little bit, see if that works. So let's just add some eyes. I'm going to just kind of pick where they should go. I don't know. How about right here? All right, I'm going to try and hold that loop there and put another one. We'll go right there. All right, I'm going to try and hold that loop there again while I pull the thread out a little longer. And I'm just going to quickly try and put in a little leg line here. Hopefully it doesn't look too weird. There, let's see what that looks like. It's funny. I'm going to add one more thing to it. Hopefully it doesn't look too weird, but I'm going to pull this out a little bit again, and let's add a little line for the neck. Maybe that was too weird. I'm going to pull those stitches out. So that's the fun thing. Here, I'll just snip this. I like the first bits, but these ones. Let's go from the other side. I'm going to snip this. Snip this. All right, I didn't like the headlines that I put in the middle there, so I'm just going to take this and I can pull them right out. That's the kind of the fun thing with punch needle. You can fix those little mistakes. But all right, there we go. We got a goofy little wackadoo bunny there. He's super little. So if we did do an outside, we could kind of squish in all his little hairy bits a little bit there. But I don't know, just for giving a few things a try, I think he's okay. He's an okay little bunny there. But fun. That was fun, making the little puffball tail. Ooh, and I'm making it even fluffier by kind of separating the 6 strands a little bit. But yeah, so like we could squish these together a little bit more. But not too shabby, kind of fun. So all right, there's the little bunny tonight, little experimenting. And we'll call it a night there. So I'm going to flip you guys around and we'll finish it up. Yep, it's exactly, Bonnie. It's an 80% good bunny. We're giving it a try, and that's about as good as we can do. So here we are. Here is the little bunny. A little crazy, but I like him. All right. Oh, thanks for trying a bunch of things so we could see. Yeah, thank you, Connie, for watching for sure. Yeah, it was fun to try the larger needle. I hadn't used that larger needle yet, and some of those different yarns. So you can definitely tell there's a different texture with that crochet yarn than the embroidery floss. It's not as soft, but you can see all the loops a lot more. And man, I wish that mohair would have worked, because that would have been really fun. So for the mohair, I would have needed a bigger needle yet, and I was using the largest size needle. So time to move up to a completely different needle than the Ultra Punch. At that point, you know, I'd be looking for more of one of those bigger, like rug hooking punch needles. But yeah, it was fun, and I would definitely try the bigger size and experiment more with this. But thanks again. Here again is what we did tonight, the Make It 80% Good. We finished up the back with that cute little back edge and the little bow. So if you missed that from earlier tonight, I will have the replay up on YouTube, and you can check that out on YouTube later, how to make the cute little back here. And then, yep, and then the rest of the night we experimented with different materials and stuff for the punch needle. So that will all be on the replay as well. So thank you so much again, everyone, for joining me tonight. And I will be here again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 for about an hour. And hopefully I will check on my machine tomorrow. Maybe I'll be able to pick it up, and then we can get back to sewing. So if we don't get to that, I will come up with something else fun that we'll work on tomorrow. So all right, guys, see ya tomorrow. Have a great night.